Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. I wanted to come on today to talk a little bit about managing ourselves and our emotions during this time. So this is something that we're all going through and it's something new to everyone. So nobody has the answers, but we can absolutely use the power of our mind in order to help ourselves through this situation. So, firstly, I do think that the initial couple of weeks was definitely really, really challenging for people. The reason being is it was totally out of the blue. People couldn't plan for it, couldn't prepare for it. And when there's change in our lives, we're not, unless we plan for it, prepared for those changes. So it takes a shift in our mindset in order to really process it. And there was no processing time with this pandemic. So that's why a lot of people in the initial weeks really struggled. And I'm seeing a kind of a trend whereby there's a bit more acceptance now, which is great, and a bit more focusing on things that, you know, we have the opportunity to do. And that's kind of what I want to speak to you about as well. So obviously, the whole world at the moment, sorry, my video cut off there, so I had to delete stuff. So yeah, the whole world at the moment is trying to work together to stop the spread of COVID-19. And in order to do so, we need to adhere to the guidelines that are presented to us. So staying at home, social distancing, washing our hands, personal hygiene, staying within our own households, all of that is so, so important. So we need to listen and do what is being asked of us. But what we also really need to focus on now more than ever is our mindset and where our thoughts and our focus is going. Because what we are focusing on within our minds can really determine how we get through this situation. So the natural response is to focus on the worry, the fear, the devastation, and catastrophize the scenario in your own head. That is not going to help in any way. It's only going to make you feel worse. So this staying at home and having so much more time to ourselves is giving everybody the opportunity and the chance to work on themselves. Because what we all need to do now is we need to find our own center. And amidst all the chaos and the panic and the pandemonium, we need to find that quiet and we need to look inside ourselves. We need to prioritize our own mindset work, our mental health, and looking after ourselves through this tough, challenging time. Now, as I've mentioned already, it's really important to be aware of what we need to do to play our part. But what I see a lot of people doing is spending endless hours watching the news, having the news feeding through their phone, constantly following, you know, people that are, and there's so much amazing information out there on Instagram, which is fantastic, but consuming it too often is just going to leave your mind in that place of fear, anxiety, stress, worry, and all of these emotions. Our human brain is wired for survival. So we are naturally drawn to thoughts of fear and danger. So we need to work on our minds in order to change what we choose to focus on. And that work has to come from within us. So if you are watching the news, which I do recommend, you know, being informed, but you don't need to consume endless amounts. You don't need to know the numbers every single day. We know that, you know, this situation is grim. I think Ireland is doing an absolutely amazing job, and I'm so proud of our country, and I'm so proud of everybody that's playing their role and doing their bit. I'm so proud of the front line in all capacities that takes, working in the hospitals, in the supermarkets, the guards, truck drivers, importing foods, everything. Everybody is doing their bit and it's amazing. But if we are choosing to watch the news, so say you choose to watch the news for an hour a day, well then you also need to counterbalance that with an hour of positivity. So be it a podcast, an audiobook, listening to some positive information through your social networks, whatever it is, you need to at least balance it. And more than that, I would say that you should be doubling up on the positive if you're going to be consuming an hour of the news. The news is reporting, the information as it is, but it's also reporting it in a way that's engaging, that people want to tune in. It wants to get clicks on the headlines. A lot of it is, clickbait with headlines. I'm not saying that, there's not panic or, the situation isn't scary and whatever it is, but we can choose to put our focus there, or we can choose to shift our focus. So, at the moment, the situation is as it is, and we cannot control the situation. What we do have power and control over is how we view it, what we are choosing to focus on. So choosing to focus your time and your energy on things that are going to develop your mindset and help you through this situation, as opposed to staying in the panic and fear state. So the way I see it is that in every adversity, there's opportunity. So it's there, but we have to choose to see it. So we can focus our minds on positive outcomes. We can choose to visualize, months down the line and the scenarios that we want to see in our lives. But the problem lies in people picturing the wrong scenarios, the scenarios they don't want to see, the scenarios that they fear. And that energy causes stress within your body. Stress releases cortisol as well, which weakens our immune system. So at the moment, we really want a strong immune system. So we want to be filling our bodies and our minds with health as much as we possibly can. So focusing on the abundance, because there's abundance there for everybody. We just have to see it. And abundance doesn't come from outward, it comes from working first within yourself. So that's why in this time, it's now more than ever important to focus on your inner self. Focus on finding your center, on grounding yourself, on working on strategies that will enable you to move through this, to come out the other side with a more empowering sense of self, and strategies that can help you to tackle any situations that may arise in your life. Because if we choose to see this as scarcity, or, obviously financial situations are impacted, jobs are lost, and that's a fact. But if we choose to lay our focus there, then we're going to see more of that. We're going to see more of, the lack. However, if we switch our focus into, okay, what can I do? How can I be productive in this time? We will see more abundance flowing into our lives. So it's about connecting with the energy. So the energy within ourselves and the energy out there in the universe. It's all interconnected. So we need to make sure that we are channeling our mind and our thoughts for productivity, as opposed to feeding the scarcity mindset or the fearful mindset as well. So that's why taking time to do your journaling, focus on your gratitudes, what you're grateful for, appreciating the little things in life, going out for a walk in nature, and just seeing how the world is going on in nature. Even though this is happening all around us, nature is just such a calming place to be. If you have within your 2 kilometer radius, obviously, water that you can go and just watch the water, it's so calming, and listen to the birds and everything like that. So really trying to do as much mindset work as you can. Meditation, the answers come from within. So the answers are always going to come from within. So if we want to ask for something, going into a state of meditation is a lovely way to be able to do that, and to just calm the mind of all the fearful and panic thoughts that are going on. Now, I'm not saying that you're not to have these thoughts. It's absolutely normal and it's okay to have them. It's natural. It's going to happen. There's going to be days when, you're going to cope better than other days. But just remember that this will pass and these thoughts will pass, and sit with them and, acknowledge them, but try not to allow them to govern and to rule your whole experience at the present moment. So you need to take back your own power, and the power is always within yourself. So working on yourself is the number one most important thing in order to get through the situation as it is. So like I was talking about kind of with your thoughts, without our thoughts there is no fear. So our thoughts stem from the fear, and that stems from a belief system as well. So we need to make sure that what we are channeling into our mind is empowering us. It's empowering us. And while I know there is such devastation happening in the world, I'm not saying that that's not happening. And, I have seen it affected, people being affected close by this. And it's absolutely devastating. And it's not for 1 second taken away from that. It's just, what can we do as individuals in this time to help ourselves get through it as best we can? And that is by focusing as much as we can on what we have to be grateful for, and focusing on your visualization techniques of the future as you want it to be, and not focusing on fearful thoughts. Trying not to have constant stream of news and negativity and all that coming into your life. It's about learning to manage your emotions and understanding that they're going to come, and how do you manage those in times of stress, in times of hardship, in times of fear, I suppose. We can choose to buy into the fear, or we can meet that fear with love, and we can meet that fear with an optimistic mind as much as we can. And I think we need to do that for ourselves and for everybody, because the energy that we radiate within ourselves radiates outwards, and it increases the energy flow in the world as a whole. So, it's just important to take the time to do the things that we can do in order to help ourselves. So in order to handle the situation, I suppose, the first thing that I have mentioned is limit your media intake, and counterbalance that with positive information that you're taking in. This is really, really important. Because, terrifying thoughts, they're not useful, they're not helpful, they're not going to help us in this situation. And we need to try and bring some love and compassion to ourselves in this time that is difficult. It's a whole host of change. And we're going to come out of this into a new world, but we want to come out of it as the best possible people that we can be. So don't focus on the long path that's ahead. Focus on what you can do every single day in order to achieve your positive mindset, and hopefully, come out this on the other side and be able to reconnect with all our friends and family, and just appreciate everybody that little bit more. I also spoke about the importance of focusing on what you can do as opposed to what you can't do. The opportunity as opposed to the adversity. So looking at, how can I help in this situation? How can I impact the lives of other people? How can I make a difference? All of these things are ways that we can raise the energy level collectively, and really bring each other through this, because this is a matter of community. Within the word community is the word unity, and I think our country in particular is showing a really sense of unity, and I want everybody to be proud of themselves for the action that they're taking in order to get through this pandemic. But we need to keep doing so, but in the process we need to look after our mindset and our mental health as well. So connecting emotionally with the abundance and with the opportunities that we have, and then also visualizing your future. So when you're creating stories about your future and what you're visualizing, you want those stories to be positive. You want those stories to be empowering. You want them to excite you. You want, to think about them and to emotionally feel the feelings that you're going to feel in that moment. So, and myself included in the beginning, there was fear, there's doubt, there's, oh my God, this is such a huge change. There's certain things that have to be postponed, like our wedding, and all these emotions flow through your mind. But then when you take a time to really sit down and think about them, and process them, and then you begin to, envision your future as you want it to be, as opposed to being fearful of the situation as it is. A lot of people in this time are just focusing on, getting through the day, and that's totally fine. For some people, that's totally fine. For other people, they need a bigger goal to, drive, motivate, encourage them. And, if you're training at the moment and you're working out at home, like, that's amazing. It's brilliant for your physical health, for your mental health, for everything. Set goals if that's going to help you to do what you're doing. And there's no harm in setting future goals for yourself once your focus and your vision is on the positive future as opposed to anything other than that. So that's really, really important. So if you are creating stories in your head, make sure they are positive, empowering stories, that they're not disempowering or fearful stories. So imagine like the reunion that you're going to have after this with all the people, that mean so much to you. Focus on that, the hugs, the time, the moments, the memories, and how appreciative we're going to be of the simple things in life. Going to the gym, getting a really good workout in that isn't a home workout. All of these things, they seem so minuscule, or seemed so minuscule, but now they are actually, really, really important things to us. So understanding that, as human beings, we are wired for survival. Our brain is going to flip to danger, danger, fear, anxiety, worry. And if we are constantly in a state of thinking about the future and the fearful things of the future, we are going to be in a constant state of anxiety. But in order to look after ourselves, we need to make sure that we are focusing on a future that is empowering and that encourages us to do what we're doing now, because we know the bright future is ahead. Sure, there's going to be difficulties with the economy, but it's not anything that we won't get through. We will. And I think staying positive and just knowing that there's always opportunities in times of hardship, if you can find them and channel your mind in that way, and always wanting to serve something that is greater than just yourself is always a really important thing, to be able to help people in a way that will benefit their lives too. So just to conclude, I'm just stressing the importance of looking after your mindset right now. I work with clients who come to me because they need to develop strategies and skills for things that happen in their lives or have happened, or past experiences, whatever. They don't want to take it into the future. And that's amazing. A lot of people have reached out to me and then they realized that, it's not a priority for them. And when we prioritize our time, we are prioritizing our time in order of what we feel is most important. A lot of people will say that they don't have time for this kind of work. well, now is the time, because you have the time. So don't procrastinate on it. Do the work on yourself. And when you do, every single day you'll wake up with an empowering feeling, a feeling that, yes, I can do this. Yes, today is going to be a good day. Yes, there may be times that I will struggle, mentally. Yes, there may be times that, fearful thoughts will come into my mind, but I know they will pass. I know there is light coming out on the other side of this. And that is where I choose to place my focus. And that's what we all need to do. So time now, a lot of us have time, those of us that are at home, we have mounds of time. So make sure that you are using it effectively and wisely. When we work on ourselves, we benefit not only ourselves, we benefit our families, our households, we benefit the wider community. Anybody that we talk to, that we connect with, we can help. And that's such a powerful thing as a sense of community. So yes, we are in challenging times. They're not going to last. We are going to get through this, but we need to focus on our bright future and take the focus off fear. So turn off the news, be informed, but don't overconsume. Consume much more positivity than you do any of the draining stuff that we find in the media at the moment. I hope this video was helpful, and if you do have any questions at all, please send me a message, and you can share this video if you think it's going to help somebody else. But we all need to stick together, and we all need to help each other in this time of difficulty.